In our last lesson, we talked about graphing lines using slope-intercept, y equals mx plus b. In this lesson, we're going to go on and talk about graphing two special kinds of lines, vertical lines and horizontal lines. Hopefully you remember this from a previous course or a previous mod. First of all, vertical lines cut through the x-axis. They are of the form x equals a constant number. Horizontal lines cut through the y-axis, and they are all of the form y equals a constant number. Although you won't need this information to answer a question in this lesson, let me just remind you that horizontal lines, the slope is 0. Vertical lines, the slope is undefined. All right, these are actually very easy to graph. Suppose I want to graph a vertical line of x equals 2. That means that all the points on the line have an x coordinate of 2. So the point 2, 0 would be on it, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, negative 4, all of those. Well, all I need to know is that this line cuts through, and I'm abbreviating that, the x-axis at 2. So here it is. When you're doing it in MATLAB, you will still have to click on 2 points, any 2 points along that vertical line. If instead I'm asked to graph the line, say y equals negative 3, well, y is negative 3 right here. It is also negative 3 here, and here, and here. All of those points have y coordinates of negative 3. So what you'll need to remember, is that a line y equals negative 3 is a horizontal line. It cuts through, abbreviated again, the y-axis at negative 3. You will have to mark 2 points using MATLAB. So let's see how, hopefully, easy you will find these. The first one asked me to graph x equals 3. X equals 3 cuts through the x-axis at 3. So if I'm going to cut through the x-axis at 3, I'm going to cut through here, and it's going to look like this. With MATLAB, you will have clicked on the line tool, click perhaps this point, and just any other point along the vertical line. All right, how about y equals negative 9? That cuts through the y-axis at negative 9. So find negative, line draw tool, find negative 9 on the y-axis, pick one other point on that horizontal line, and in MATLAB your line will appear. So if it says x equals, it cuts through the x-axis. If it says y equals, it cuts through the y-axis. If the line equation is not solve for y or not solve for x, you have to do that. So I'll need to add 1 to both sides, and now I have y as 1. That means it cuts through the y-axis at 1. All right, that's the y-axis at 1. Pick another point on that horizontal line, and there's your line. Once again, mine aren't as straight as they really should be. And the last one, if I'm given x plus 4 equals 0, I need it solved for x. So subtract 4, x is equal to negative 4. It cuts through the x axis at -4. Line tool, x-axis at -4 is right there. Pick any other point, and there it is. It's cutting through the x-axis at -4. That's the special vertical and horizontal lines.